The Desolation Wilderness sucks? Hey, for this video, guys, I'm going to make a quick recap of my 3 days going through the Desolation Wilderness, finishing up the TRT, and 7 lessons I took away from that 3-day trip. And it's not what most people would think. Some things yes, but some things no. And I know I'm going to hear it and get some shit for one of my points, and specifically the last point in particular. So with that, I'm going to go ahead and just get right into it and just basically talk through this video. So point number 1, or lesson number 1 that I took away, was that I am not a thru hiker. I don't really think that's something that I'm going to be doing much of or have a long thru hike in my future. It's something that seemed like it was a good idea, but probably not for me, based off some of my physical limitations, based off frankly just getting a little bit too bored and wanting some more variety and something a little bit different. So I don't think I'm going to be thru hiking the Pacific Crest Trail, maybe section hiking it, but I don't think that's going to be happening for us thru hike. Second one was that I really learned the lesson that fatigue over several days of hiking needs to be accounted for when you look at mileage. It's great to have a spreadsheet, great to plan out your mileage each day, but really have to account for the variables such as fatigue over the long haul. After doing a couple of days of 19s and 20s, you're not going to have the same kind of energy, so you're not a robot, you're not a machine, you need to account for that. Number 3, a 10-degree quilt, I have a down quilt, is overkill, especially if it gets down to like the low 40s. I was too hot, I was sweating a bit, and I just couldn't really get a good temperature. So I need to have some better alternatives, like a 30-degree quilt when they come back in stock. And also another lesson I learned was have some really good hiking shorts. Mine were at the end of their life, and I went past them, so I had to make some adjustments. But make sure that your hiking shorts are in, or pants, whatever you use, are in good condition and will survive that trip. I thought I was going to make it with mine, but day 2 they pretty much said, no, we're done. You've used this for several years and we're done. Number 4 is that the DSLR, which I'm shooting on right now here at my house, DSLR is a little bit overkill for going out and looking at these videos and doing these things on YouTube. Unless you are a pro or you're looking to have pro video and you can really do that, DSLR is just too heavy. It's just too much. It's not worth it, in my opinion. You can use, your cell phone. It shoots in, 1080 or 4K, shoots 30 or 60 frames per second. And with the iPhone here, you can even adjust the f-stop, so as well as all these other variables. So I think that the DSLR, which mine weighs about 1.5 pounds, or not quite, just was a bit too much. So I don't think a DSLR, unless you're really looking to do that with the video and the photos, you can leave it home. Point number 5. So shakedown hikes, we all know, are important and you should be doing them. But they're not just important for your gear or for mileage or for altitude experience. It's also something that's really great for food, and considering how much food you're going to eat, how hungry you're going to be, how thirsty you're going to be, what are you really going to eat when you're on trail, how much you're going to eat. I've subscribed to a couple of things. I have Ultralight Food Service, which is fantastic, and I will go ahead and I'll link her YouTube channel below. She's great, and she's very good about going ahead and also telling people you need to really think about how much food you really want to eat in a day and over the trip. I would add that to your shakedown hikes. Just feel how hungry you are, feel how thirsty you are, how much do you really eat? Do you eat a breakfast or not? Do you like to have a meal replacement for breakfast like I do? I like to have a meal replacement, and actually I don't like to eat right away. I like to hike a couple of miles and then take a break and then have a meal replacement, sort of a protein shake, rather than having a big meal to begin with. So add that as one of your considerations, along with gear and your cook system and sleep system and all that. Add food to as your considerations for your shakedown hikes. Number 6. So have a backup app or a map when you have your hike, when you go on your hikes. I found that the Hiking Project is a fantastic app. It's free. GetHooks is also a great app that I've heard of. I've never purchased their services. The Hiking Project was fantastic. It gave me mileage, it gave me altitude, it gave me exactly where I was. It showed me a map of that particular trail, section of the trail I was on. But it started crashing on me, and I could not get it to work. And I had no cell phone coverage, so I couldn't delete the app and reinstall it, which is what I had to do when I got home. Thank God for Google Maps, which I downloaded offline and used. And it gave me an idea of mileage that I would have to have for the next day. But have a backup, and I know that goes without saying for most of us, we already know that, but have a backup app or a map, so that way you have something in case your primary crashes and you're like me and pretty much knew what I had to do, but wasn't quite sure, and it's great to have some reassurance, which I didn't have that last day and a half. Number 7, and this is the one that I'm sure I'm going to hear about it, but the Desolation Wilderness section of the Tahoe Rim Trail sucked. I did not enjoy any of it. I think the trail, I get it's the Desolation Wilderness, I get it, but it is not a well-maintained trail by any means. There is a lot of blazing that has been removed, a lot of blazing that's not there. It can get a bit disorienting on the northern side if you get off on a trail. It's the footing. It just beat my feet up. There's tons and tons and tons of rocks. It's a poor trail for hiking, in my opinion. You just seem to step on rocks all the time, and it just like torpedoes your Achilles and just kills your feet. I did not enjoy it. I did not enjoy going over Dick's Pass. I didn't enjoy the climb or really the reward of the views. I didn't really feel that the views were spectacular. In fact, if anything, Relay Peak has better views than Dick's Pass. But I just didn't enjoy the Desolation Wilderness section at all. It wasn't because there was too many people. It wasn't because it was too hot. It wasn't because of trash and people not packing it out. It was just the conditions. It just wasn't that fun. It wasn't fun. It just wasn't fun. And I know that a lot of people say it's the best section, it's their favorite section, it's the one that they want to go to, and it just wasn't it for me. It just wasn't it. Really, I would have been, if it wasn't required, just to do the trail, I would have skipped it. But it's nice, but it's not all that. So for me, in my opinion, just for me, the Desolation Wilderness is okay. It's just not everything that people make it out to be, in my opinion. That's just me. I know everyone has their opinions, and they're welcome to them and such. I just didn't care for it. It sucked. It really sucked. Just didn't really find it to be worth it. So anyway, there you go. Those are the 7 lessons I learned and took away from the last 3 days out on the Tahoe Rim Trail, finishing up the Desolation Wilderness section, going from Big Meadows all the way to Barker Pass. I hope you found this video a little bit useful. I'm going to make some more videos here pretty soon about equipment and my experiences with equipment, and more specifically my other Nemo tents and the duplex. I'm going to do a review on the duplex, but hope you found this useful. If you have any comments or thoughts, leave me a comment down below. Again, just realize, I know that people usually love the Desolation, and I just don't. I just don't. So anyways, thanks for watching this, and happy trails.